Have you ever wondered how to effectively nurture your online mortgage leads? Well, it's not as difficult as you might think. In fact, one of the most powerful tools at your disposal is just simply email, creating email drip marketing campaigns. Hi, I'm Bill Rice from Age Lead Store, and today I'm going to show you how to use email marketing campaigns to nurture your online mortgage leads. This is so important because these internet leads are initially shows of intent, right? The consumer has filled out a form. They're interested in mortgage or what it takes to get a mortgage or mortgage rates, but they may not actually be ready to have a conversation about filling out a loan application, right? So you're going to need to nurture them. They may also be a little bit anxious about the whole process. And so that's going to elongate the time in which it takes to actually get them to an appointment, then ultimately get that application and move them through the mortgage process. It's super important to create some automation to nurture your leads. We often talk about lead nurturing, but no one really talks about what that is. And if you just rely on you personally remembering to follow up or even tagging things in your CRM to follow up with phone calls and outbound calls and stuff like that, it's going to be difficult. One, as your lead pipeline increases, you're just simply not going to be able to make enough calls to use calling as a nurturing technique. So email is going to become super important to that lead nurturing process. So let's talk about how to use that email as that mechanism, right? So the first thing you need to do is to be able to segment your list, right? So as you're getting leads in, there needs to be some mechanisms by which that you're segmenting that so that when you're creating the email nurture campaign, you can just take out the portion of the list that you want to nurture at any given time, or you want to send emails out to them. And by segmenting them, it allows you to be just a little bit more personalized. So when I say segment, that could mean a couple of different things and can make it actually pretty simple. One way to segment is just to use your sales process and the statuses or the dispositions that you make inside of your sales CRM, right? So in essence, when you put it in a new status, then go ahead. A lot of CRMs have this built in. You can trigger a new sequence of emails or drip emails. So let's say you put it into the contacted status. You could create 2 or 3 emails that would then follow up to try to move them to the next stage. If you schedule an appointment, you could set up an email drip campaign or sequence that actually reminds them of the meeting and then automatically gives them their next steps afterwards, right? And so that's a way that you can use an event to trigger that sequence of emails. And a lot of times those emails are very common, right? If you're just trying to remind them to come to that scheduled appointment, that's pretty easy. You just swap in and personalize the date, but everything else is the same. What you want them to do before, what you want them to be thinking about, sort of preparing them as to what you're going to cover in that meeting. All those things can be scripted and templated, right? So that's a great way to use statuses as the mechanism by which you nurture and you trigger these drip campaigns. And so that sort of self-segments. The other way that you can segment is time. So when you're working age leads, time is a great segmentation tool. When that person actually first filled out the form or inquired is a great way. Group all those together. That way you can do some personalization. So the key to segmentation is really kind of creating some segmentation so that you can leverage that segmentation to personalize. Another sort of intuitive way to segment is to segment them by the type of lead that they are, or maybe the loan product that they were trying to get. And so that's another really easy way to segment your leads, because when they came in, they probably gave you some indication of the type of loan program that they're interested in. Maybe they came in, they self-identified as a veteran, right? And so they're probably considering maybe a VA product or that sort of thing. If they're a first-time home buyer, maybe they're considering FHA. So that's a really logical way to segment. So segmentation is super important. The second thing that's important in lead nurturing is to make sure that the emails are always mobile friendly. So when these are going out, you're generally doing follow-ups, and these are going to go out and they're going to hit or engage your prospect at a variety of different times, right? And most likely they won't be in front of their computer. They're going to be on their mobile phone, right? So ideally, you want to make sure that everything's mobile friendly. The easiest way to do this, and the way that most people make a mistake, is they try to make them beautiful and they over design them. And one thing they don't realize is design and all these graphical elements that make emails kind of beautiful often get like horribly mangled, because email from an HTML perspective or from a sort of a web interface perspective is really archaic, and they can't handle all the fancy things that a browser can when you create a website. So it's really important to make sure that it will be viewed on your phone very well. And by just making it a text email instead of all this graphical fancy stuff, don't try to make it pretty. Try to make it look like an email, a quick and straightforward email from a friend, right? So I'm a big advocate of making all lead nurturing emails just simply text-based for the most part. So that's just the easiest way to make it mobile friendly. Makes it really easy and clear to read on a small screen, which is, again, most of the way you'll look, if you look at your statistics, anywhere from 70, 80, 90% of those emails will be read on a mobile device. So make sure that it's mobile friendly. The third and the last point to kind of building out these lead nurturing campaigns is to be consistent. So you want to map out the entire journey, and you want to the best of your ability, you want to build out those complete segments for the entire journey. So it's great because when you're producing them or you're having an agency produce them, you can do all these things in batch, and then you can just simply copy and paste and publish them into whatever the system is that's creating the automation. So your marketing automation or sales automation could be MailChimp. All of the CRMs provide this kind of functionality. But go ahead and do them all and do them in batch. That way you can see kind of the full journey. You can make sure that they all make sense together and that they're being sort of triggered effectively. Create a visual if you want to of how all of these emails sort of piece together, and then publish them and load them in all at once. You can do just a little of them because it can be overwhelming. But the thing is make sure that you have consistency across that journey so that you are continually and at regular intervals reaching out and connecting to them with the email campaign, because lead nurturing is all about consistency and being, as I always say, politely persistent, right? And so this allows you to create the timing and to create just a nice, smooth, clean journey. So I hope that you're already toying around with using some email marketing inside of your mortgage operation, your sales operation. But if not, this is a great place to start. So building out some lead nurturing, some sales automation that uses email marketing is a great way to start to use this really powerful tool. Email is still one of the most powerful tools that you can use in sales. So appreciate you watching this. Encourage you to subscribe and hit that notification button so you can get all of our updated training. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.